Your consciousness is the password to enter the world of the fifth dimension. You possess this key the moment your consciousness tells you do or fail. In that moment, you will be alone. No one will judge you or reward you. Think for a moment of the fleeting nature of life and consider, if you will, about the permanent nature of death. Or is it? Death is a transition from the physical form to the etheric, and the freedom that having no human body brings is unimaginable. Loved ones left behind grieve, but the soul flying free rejoices that their time on earth is over so the real work can begin. We realize the many changes that we have experienced, from both a personal level and a planetary one. Polarity is being emphasized by the ones who desire to continue living in separation. At this time, our planet is experiencing a massive Holocaust clearing in our timeline and other parallel ones. Yes, you have been in this situation before. That is why it feels so ugly. That is why it feels so hopeless at times. It is bringing up the times that you have been in battle. And yes, there have been many battles throughout the eons of history, even before what you think of as your history on planet Earth. There were the Star Wars, the wars in the Orion galaxies. There was the battle that was during the time of Atlantis. These are ones that you can relate to with your memory. Beware, all over the internet, fake truth salesmen supported by channels of the so-called popular media have been used as mouthpieces, who themselves believe they are receiving information from the light and are privileged to pass it on. While in reality, they are operatively manipulated by a cabal. They often tell people that they have an exclusive informant at their disposal and that they have been chosen to be their voice in our society. They pass on information that is partly true, but in fact aims to sow doubt, lies, and deception. Even so, what is occurring on Earth is both caused by and causing major energetic shifts in the consciousness of man. And the consequences upon the dark souls who control the matrix of power around the world is clearly evident. While the turmoil grows more intense and disturbing for those watching it unfold on their television screens, the reality for those caught up in any of the multiple conflict, health crisis and disasters is like a never-ending nightmare they cannot wake from. During this month, this will continue, for it is the response to the distorted male clearing that is too occurring behind the physical, as well as the restoration of the planetary 12D original template, removing reversals and many other false structures that have reigned in our planet until now, impeding illumined energies to be anchored in our Earth plane. Guides underline the importance of moving inward during December, remaining in our higher hearts to be able to send love and harmony where required. When we talk about remaining in our higher hearts, it is in truth, as you know, a metaphor to refer to our thymus, where our higher hearts reside. And yes, you have been on the teams where you would search for the souls that were out wandering with no place to come back to, and so you are being called again. It is not an accident that you are here during this time, and I speak to all of you. You are called. You are the elite forces. You are the forces of the Divine Mother and Father of love, of light, of valor. And what is the armor that you use? You know the answer. The armor is the love. Your tools are the light. We do not say weapons, for these are tools of peace that can reach into the hearts of all. The third dimension is the world of lies, deception, competition, destructive criticism, selfishness, theft, fraud, fame and greed. Control and power is the goal. Backstabbing, malice and cultivating low frequency for conviction and control. These are actions that put firm locks on the portal to the fifth dimension. Because in the fifth dimension, cooperation, help and dedication is always focused on good, pure intentions with empathy and care for others. That is the track that leads you to the 5D world. Nothing and no one has the power to influence individual choice. For every individual, the freedom of free will and choice still exists. There won't be a soul who can claim not to have had a chance. Dear hearts, the state of the earth is one of constant flux due to the escalating attempts of the dark to overtake the light. If humans allow themselves to submit to the fear and acts of oppression, they will lose sight of the light that is ever present, and there is a way forward. Light always overcomes dark, and as the matrix pulls tighter, attempting to gain or regain control, the space left for the light grows ever wider. What can you do? Pray, meditate, and love yourself, your loved ones, friends, and those that you cannot abide. Send love to your friends, but more so to your enemies. For they need it the most as they embark on the journey of repaying the karma they have created and of learning the lessons they have ignored. This is why it is so important to keep it cleared, open, and healed, for it is, as I call it, our soul portal, from where we can operate from a more illumined state of being, having an impact on all. Do not be pulled away by the chaos, for peace and love with its silence have also gained a lot of terrain during this year. As there are more spaces now being rehabilitated. And it is just the beginning of the return of the divine feminine in our planet and its eternal embrace with the divine masculine. We are heading into a new energetic month in which we will be invited to revise, conclude, and above all, discern where we are going. What we still need to work with and what we are creating. For as we change, so does our creations and personal reality. December is a calmer month, astrologically speaking, as we are given a pause in our integration process. To process all the previous energies and to stabilize them within our bodies, as there have been many changes happening in both our physical bodies and reality that need to be balanced now. Is this an easy task? No. But you have been called, and so I say to you, come forth. Release that which is keeping you from doing what you have come here to do. Bring out your tools of light. Bring out the sword that I have given you. Know that every time that you are in a state of peace, you are using your tools of light to affect the consciousness of all. For every time that is the case, whether it is joy or love or peace or any of the higher vibrations, you are lighting up the grid, and those points then begin to go across and reach all those who are in the depths of despair, that are in the depths of fighting, that are in the depths of hatred. Ascension is rise, and by definition, the path of those who choose to consciously go to the higher level of light. This path can only be found when the consciousness is truly sufficiently expanded, by understanding every lesson presented during successive incarnations. Remember that nothing and no one will decide for you. The soul vibrating at a high frequency is focused on the intention of good. It takes into account the outcome of every action done. It always moves to the other side to feel whether each decision is indeed best for both. It is cooperative at all times and never competes for personal gain. It is loving, compassionate, and respectful. The more love in the world, the more light, which then shows the way to those who have previously been lost. See the good in the world and focus on building upon it. It does not mean that you ignore what is happening. But how can you assist through service rather than emotion that only leads you down the spiraling path of despair and loss of hope? Where there is life, there is love, hope, and the human spirit, which is actually born from the light of Source, and therefore never lost and never alone. It is not a month to push and force our will upon something we wish to happen, but a month to continue surrendering to our soul's desires. For we are now in a void, birthing what will be our next adventure. We are forever and beginning anew within this eternal cosmic spiral. For we never end. On the contrary, we are just beginning to discover the many realms that exist within creation and its infinite wisdom. December, a 9 universal month, represents the threshold in which we clear old attachments. Energetic, physical, and emotional ones, so we can clear old timelines, remerging into our new chosen one. The light has always had the power to overcome the darkness because within the darkness is the light. And that is what you are doing, beloveds. You are reaching the light. So no, it is not a betrayal to be filled with joy. It is not a betrayal to be filled with peace when your companions are suffering. When there has been slaughter, when there has been mayhem, when there has been murder. Yes, grieve. Yes, bring your compassionate hearts to all those in need, but know why you are here, the elite of the elite. You have been called, and I am proud. The moment the money system collapses or the majority of vaccinated people discover that they have been deceived by their government, global liberation becomes reality. Our freedom must be fought for from the bottom up. The soul of every human being is expressed through consciousness. When we talk about the soul, it is consciousness itself. It constantly vibrates and produces a frequency that varies according to that vibration. There are no two souls on the same frequency, any more than there can be two radio transmitters overlapping on the same wavelength. Intention determines the frequency of each soul. It determines thoughts and actions. And it is the action that counts that determines the frequency. Actions generate reactions, also called the law of cause and effect. Even an omission can be called an action. It is the action of inaction. The flower of life in its simplicity, that is, one flower on its own, is enough to activate powerful light codes that connect each person to their Christed self through repeated symbols of infinity. The three intersecting infinity symbols within each flower represent the sacred triad, or each person's etheric replica, and is therefore a crucial tool in helping each person to cleanse and reharmonize soul fragments to bring the person back into alignment with their I Am Presence. If one considers that the rays held within the sacred triad are those of diamond, silver, and gold, the power of the symbol will become clear. Each flower is situated in a circle, which represents infinity as well as the never-ending circle of life that is cyclic and symbiotic in nature. Move inward and focus on our inner light truth to walk among the shadows until we reach the new shore, using only our inner oracle to navigate through our current reality. In truth, we need nothing more than discerning which way is aligned with our God self and which one does not serve us any longer. The soul has its own life, which is independent of the physical body. However, it needs the body to manifest itself. Through its manifestation, it develops. The body allows the soul to express itself through body language. Through physical and emotional symptoms, the soul tells us when and where to pay attention. Because any discomfort means a message or a learning process of that incarnated consciousness. The brain that feeds the human mind is the addition to the soul. It is a mechanism of manifestation. It has the polarities that enable actions, both in what we know as good and in the opposite polarity, which is called evil. Experiencing both polarities is the rule of this 3D soul school.